I have struggled quite a lot with inability to make decisions in situations when the stakes are high. For example, to go or not into that particular relationship, or to go out from it, or to go or not in that particular business direction, or to go out from it, and so on. And if you are stuck or have experienced being stuck with important decisions, then maybe this will also relate to you, what I want to share. Because what I have learned is that one of the reasons why I was getting stuck is that I was semi-willfully choosing not knowing. Meaning, if someone would ask me, okay, this is the situation, what do you want? My typical answer would be, I don't know. And this is the problem, because I don't know is actually a willfully induced state of mind. If you read Toltec teachings like by Theon Mares, for example, you will literally see how he writes that confusion is a willfully induced state of mind. In order to plead ignorance and avoid, well, what? Ignorance, a counter-reaction to responsibility, and responsibility to whom? First of all, to myself and to my own life. And the countermeasure here is to ask myself, instead of I don't know, then more honest way would be to say, I don't want to know. So the question, what do you want in this situation? I don't know. Then I say to myself, actually, I know, but I don't want to know. And therefore, the next question is, what do I not want to know in this situation? If it's still hard to answer, there are also some other sub-questions like, if part of me knew, then what would that part say? Or what's in it for me to keep not knowing it? And here is a situation that I have recently been in. I was talking with a friend about their situation in romantic relationship, and the man cannot make up his mind about a particular decision, and he says, I don't know. And then I told him, okay, let's imagine such a slightly brutal scene that you are walking somewhere in the city where it's dark and it's very few people there, and suddenly I jump in, you don't know me. I jump in the scene and I kick you in your belly and kick you on the ground, and I'm about to kick you again. And I ask you very harshly, do you want or do you not want to do X in that situation? And then he immediately has the gut response like yes or no. So you can imagine this also, that you are walking in the street in suburbs somewhere alone in the dark, and someone catches you and hits you in the belly with all their strength. And then they're about to hit you again, and they ask you the question, do you want or do you not want X? Or what do you want? And you know you have 1 second to choose. So in this 1 second you will most probably know what is the answer. Or the other thought experiment that you can make, I have also done this, is that imagine that you are standing on one side of the river and there's a bridge, and the river is very wide, and the bridge is about to explode, and once it explodes you are never going to cross that river, you will forever stay where you are, and you have 1 second to make a decision. Do you want to stay here or do you want to run there? Because the bridge is about to explode after 1 second, and boom, time count starts. And then you also can feel very vividly, if you're honest with yourself, because you know by your immediate reaction, what do you want? Do you want to cement in here or do you want to run away as fast as you can? And tool number 3 that I have used quite often is, which option would I regret more? Or if there are no options, then I just ask myself, if some time passes and I look back, then what would I have regret not doing in that time? And again, some even unexpected options might come up, which I wasn't thinking from today. There's even such a thought experiment that you can do, that you imagine that 10 years from now, you realize that your life is in a bad place. You have a shitty relationship, shitty job, shitty health, everything is bad. And you start to, even if you are not believer, but still you start to pray higher force or God, please, if only I had second chance, if only I could return 10 years back in time and do things differently for this time. And then suddenly, boom, your wish is granted and you have these 10 years. So what do you do now? And this also helps to see, okay, what I would actually do is that, even if my rational mind is against it. Here I would need to speak a bit about this portion of rational mind which is against me doing what is actually good for me, meaning what is aligned with my deeper knowing, what I know that I want. So on one level I know what I want, then some other part of me doesn't want to know it, and that part is which induces this confusion and says I don't know. So why is this part doing so? In most cases it is to protect, to create safety, safe environment, because going into change or committing into something, it can be scary. Both of those choices, because if I choose change, then in front of me is unknown. I don't know what will be there. And if I go into commitment, then in front of me is most probably some hardships. I will have to face my own demons, my own shortcomings, because I won't be able to evade the situations and evade my own shadow anymore. And it doesn't mean that in all cases the answer is to commit solely to the particular situation which is already there, or to run away from it, but the inner knowing knows. So instead of saying I don't know, try to say, what do I not want to know, or why do I not want to know? And look what comes up. I even remember one particular occasion when I was also in this I don't know state of mind, and I went for standing on nails practice. So I stood half an hour on nails. It was first time in my life, but not the last I did it. But even while standing on nails, I could not get through this defense layer of confusion which I had induced in myself. So I stayed in this I don't know answer whole half an hour, but by the end of it, or at the very end of it, I got another answer, and that answer was, well, if I don't know what to choose in that situation, then I have to choose myself. And that already was something new. Okay, what does it mean to choose myself? And here comes, therefore, last clue that I want to give here. When the answer is I don't know, then ask, okay, but what would it mean to choose myself in this situation? I can't know and can't tell what it in any particular situation would mean for you, but I knew very well what it meant for me in that situation. So with that I want to conclude, not I don't know, but what do I not want to know? Good luck.